I want to come to you, but I want to ask Maggie a question first. Maggie, tell me, I know that it was your father, if I'm not mistaken, who kind of introduced the family to Peggy Lee. Am I right about that?
No, but
okay, good.
It's actually kind of more interesting than that, because my father died before Billie was born, and then Billie developed this love of Peggy Lee. She'll tell you how she heard her, and so she sort of developed her own kind of obsession and love, and talked about Peggy Lee, and it was kind of amazing to me because she never met my father, but my father, Bill, was obsessed with Peggy Lee. She was absolutely his favorite artist. My mother always joked about it. Your dad's in love with Peggy Lee. Like, it was a real, culture in our house, my dad's love of Peggy Lee. And so I grew up hearing all the music. I have one of the albums sitting here, but I hadn't really talked about it to Billie, she can say how she heard the songs, and they definitely were in my life, but it just was crazy to me that Billie and Bill had the same passion without ever knowing each other.
Okay, so Billie, how did you come to hear Peggy Lee? What inspired you to dig through the albums there and start listening to her?
Well, to be honest with you, I was trying to remember the first time I heard her, and we were actually talking about it all day today, trying to figure out when it was. And I think without me knowing, it was probably the Lady in the Tramp where I first heard her, because I am basically 11 years old. And I think, I never even registered that was her until years and years later, but I think that was probably the first time. But then, of course, like Fever, everybody knows Fever, you can't not know that song. And then I don't know, there was just something about it that was like, got that magic to it. And I would look up videos of her performing, and just the way that she just stands there very confidently and just sings. Like, I feel like there's so much, and it's good that people, want to give it all into singing, but there was something so magical about watching her just plain stand there and just sing. I don't know. It was really magical to me. I watched a video of her recently doing Why Don't You Do Right, and she's just planting her feet right there. She just sings it, and it's magical. She's got a knack for that, as we all know. So
you've talked about songs like My Boy as being somewhat influenced by what you heard from Peggy Lee. That in a sense there was, whether you knew it or not, a certain amount of kind of vocal training going on there. And I wonder if you could talk about that a little bit in terms of your own vocal approach.
Yeah, well, like Katie was saying, the whole delivery, her delivery of every word and every phrase and everything, it sits so right, and it really doesn't matter about how big it is or how small it is or, what she's saying, even though what she's saying is always, amazing. It's like just the delivery of one line can hit you in such a way. And I've taken that as a huge inspiration for everything that I've created. And My Boy I made when I was 13, so let's put that in the past. But there's tons of songs even currently that I'm working on that I'm every second of the way is just subconsciously or consciously creating something just completely inspired by Peggy Lee and all that era of music and that delivery and the magical. I've said magical like 800 times in this sentence, but what else am I supposed to say? Like, it's magical, man. That's all I can say. So, yeah.
Well, I'm also interested to hear that she's had some influence on your songwriting.
Oh yeah.
Not just the vocals for the songs, but literally the songwriting.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like I don't know. What I love about her writing is it's very like conversational. It's really like a person talking.
Yeah.
And it's clever, and it's it's funny, and it's interesting, and it's kind of like some of it's like intimidating in a way, like a beautiful way. So for sure, I mean, I can't not, give her all the credit for inspiring me to create what I create. And yeah, come on, it's Peggy Lee.
Katie, Billie uses the term intimidating when approaching or thinking about Peggy Lee. Was it intimidating for you in terms of taking on her music?
Well, I understand what Billie's saying for sure. I just think I'm going to say no, just because I always felt I was being schooled by her. So I was just always a humble student. I still am a humble student of Peggy Lee for sure.
Yeah. Billie, you said Fever is a perfect song. Why is it perfect to you?
I mean, try to tell me it's not, I don't know. It's Fever. I think just, first of all, the lyrics, right? Let's get into them. But at the same time, da-dum, dum,
yeah, the arrangement for sure.
God, it just like takes you, with it. It leads the way, Sometimes you listen to a song and it's like your song, but that song, like, it takes control of me when I listen to that song, It is in control of me. It is the boss when I listen. And I don't know if you guys feel that way, but that's definitely how I feel with a lot of her songs, and especially Fever. It just like grabs you and it pulls you, and I don't know. It's hard to
Yeah, go ahead, Katie.
I just said it's magic.
Yeah.
I think that's the running theme for today's discussion. It's magic. Hey, Billie, I know that your time with us is short, but I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to be with us and celebrate Peggy Lee.
Of course. Happy birthday, Peggy. We love you. Yeah, it's an honor to be here, and it's so nice to meet all of you. I hope you have a good day and stay safe.
Cool.
Thank you, Billie.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Billie. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thanks, Maggie.